traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1434th installment of these short-term, sometimes long-term videos. These videos are geared to teach you the art of technical analysis, and traders, if you haven't seen enough acrobatic stunts from Omni, I am the chart whisperer, and Omni is undoubtedly the Michael Jordan of technical analysis, and I get to be his messenger boy. How about that, huh? So by default, I get to be the Michael Jordan of technical analysis. I'm loving it, baby. And I'll tell you what, maybe that sounds grandiose. Nobody in the history of calling markets has ever made the calls that Omni has made. 2007, we called the top to the number. And then the market crashed in 2008 to 9. We called the low at 668. The low happened to be 666. Omni calls for recovery after that. We called for the top in crude oil. We called for the top in gold. Lately, we called for a new top in S&P. We called for a bottom in gold. It has been a phenomenal run of calls, and the market's moving bigger than anyone has ever seen, which means these are the biggest calls anyone has ever made. I am the Michael Jordan of technical analysis, baby. I kid you not. Now, will I get every one of our trades correct? No, I'm human. I'm like the rest of us. I'm like you cats. I don't get all the trading right. But as far as making these calls, there is nothing better that I've ever seen in my 34 plus, maybe 35 plus years now than the Omni. I mean, rock and roll Omni. It is truly amazing. Now, we know futures trading is extremely risky, and the way I call the Omni and handle it isn't always going to present you with profits. And you got to put your stops in, and you can only use risk capital to play this game. But I kid you not, the Omni, as I have told you, is a really, really accurate market navigator. Oscar's Market Navigational Indicator. And it's a very, very good navigational indicator. It helped us all the way down from the top in 07. It helped us all the way up from the bottom in 09. It is helping us recognize the top in 2016. Traders, I came in front of you a few months ago at the end of November. No, let me rephrase that. This is the wrong date. I remember all my dates. This was at the end of October. At the end of October 2015, I removed off this whiteboard, do not fall in love with the downside. That meant suddenly, I went from a guy who always is willing to buy big dips and instruct my Omniacs to do the same. In October of 2015, I became someone that no longer really likes buying these big dips. So we removed don't fall in love with the downside off the board, meaning maybe you can fall in love with it a little bit. Around January, I did a video called Oh Crap. Really, it was called Oh Shit in plain English. The markets are going to go, and we cracked from that day down. Then January, between Jan and Feb, the beginning of this year and this month, not only did I remove don't fall in love with the downside off the board, I put on the board do not fall in love with the upside, meaning sell the major rallies. You must recognize Omni has absolutely kept us in tune. In October, it warned us. In January, it said, that's it, we're done. And in the last couple of weeks, it's been warning us every day in the market. Omni has been absolutely correct in its calls. Again, will I handle every trade properly? No, you guys know that's not possible. But I do handle them to the best of my 35-year capability, and I pay attention every day, kids. I send you those signals, by the way, live as they happen. When Omni says buy or sell, I send that signal to you in a split second with a loud audio alert. If you would like to be part of that, come to livewithoscar.com, join my premium platinum service, and you will receive the trades exactly as I'm receiving them from Omni. So, what's on the board, traders? I don't even have the Omni on the board. Obviously, we're selling rallies, and the Omni will end up red. We're starting off red. We're going to end up red as far as I'm concerned. We're going to start off selling the rallies. Now, this video is going to be slightly different than other videos I've shown you. In, I don't know, 5, 7, 8, 10, 20 videos ago, somewhere around December 17th, I came out with a chart, and I said, right now we're sitting between 1200 and 1180, bouncing back and forth in the Russell 2000. Omni has given me a target of 975 and a second target of 832. 832. We have hit 975, bounced off of it, and have now broken 975. We are on our way to 832. Those projections were absolutely unequivocally correct so far. And when I gave them to you, it was December last year, and we were at 1200. Absolutely accurate. It bounced right off of 975, ran up for a little while, and now it's on its way to 832. So I am here to give you more projections. You're going to love this. More projections are coming your way tonight in this video. Remember the date, February 11th, 2016. Traders, more projections. Short-term projection in the emini S&P. Short-term projection. You've got 1807 to 1797 coming your way. If they continue to pound this, the next projection is a drop somewhere between 1768 and 1748. Second projection. Then I've got some long-term projections in the emini S&P. And for my fans who stick around and watch the entire video, at the end of this video, I will post those long-term projections for the emini S&P. And they're scary. Stick around and take a look. This is not my year-end call. I am calling the exact projections that I got from my analysis over the last few days. Then I did the analysis again this evening. Not only once, but I did it twice to check it this evening. The numbers kept coming up the same. Even the S&P, 1807 to 1797. Next is 1768 down to 1748, somewhere in the middle. Then there's major targets below that. Longer term targets, not the year end, but longer term, which I will give to you at the end of the video. Gold, short-term target, we expect to blow up to 1258 in gold. And crude oil, someone wrote to me and asked, Oscar, can you give me another crude target? We called the top of crude at 103. We said it would get down to 45. It hit. Then we gave a 37. It hit. Then we gave 27. That hit. Now we're offering 24. These numbers were hitting almost exactly and then bouncing, by the way. They weren't just hitting. They were coming down hundreds of points, hitting in crude and bouncing back off the Omni levels. Amazing. So the next call will be 24. Crude, 1258 gold. Short-term upside target. Short-term ES, 1807, then 1768, somewhere here in between. And boy, oh boy, wait till you see the long-term projections. Now, these aren't predictions. These are not made up in my mind. These should be as accurate as the projections I gave you in all the other markets we've called, and including the Russell recently. They are projections, not predictions. I'm not a nut. I pull it right off the charts. All right, so I'm going to show you the charts that gave me these projections, or at least some of the charts that I have used to check out these projections. I think you're going to love them. Traders, I've been working feverishly on my Omni Camp 2.0. Omni Camp 2.0. I cannot wait to show it to you. You think Omni Camps were good in the past? The last few Omni Camps, or I should say all the Omni Camps we've done, we get together at 7, 8 in the morning. We stay together for 7, 8, 10 hours, and then you go off to a hotel somewhere. I have purchased the property. I'm turning it into an Omni Camp mini resort. And you and the Omni campers will stay under the same roof from when you show up in town until you finally go home. Like a small fraternity, you will learn the Omni. You will stay with one another. You will get to know each other well. Anything that one might have missed, the other one will catch. It's a great idea as far as I'm concerned to help teach you how to feed your families. That's going to be Omni Camp 2.0. My fingers are hurting and all busted up, but I'm getting it done. I can't sit around and watch. I've hired people, but I got to get in the mix. You know what I mean? So I'm working on it. So if you would like to come out to Omni Camp and actually spend some real quality time with me over 4 to 5 days while we're learning this Omni, come to livewithoscar.com, fill out your Omni Camp applications, and I will call you back personally to qualify you for the Omni Camp Resort / learn the Omni for yourselves. All right, traders, take a look at this quick commercial, and then I'll show you all the charts that I think are necessary. With no further ado, let's go look at some charts.
I've been following Oscar off and on for about a year, and I decided to come to Omni Camp because I thought that his calls were very good and I wanted to learn how to do some analysis on my own.
I've been following Oscar for about 2 years. I took the step because I really like his recommendations, really like his videos, and I guess I wanted to further increase my knowledge. It was like an investment in myself. Big decision for me because it was halfway around the world, but yeah, I'm pleased I made the decision.
I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I knew that Oscar's somebody that really knows what he's doing, really knows what he's talking about, and he's honest. He's not trying to hide anything or disguise anything. He's pretty. The guy that goes out and makes videos every night and tells you what the market's going to do. Nobody else does that, and is accurate with it. That's phenomenal.
My expectations before I came to Omni Camp were a little uncertain. I felt like it was almost going to be too good to be true that Oscar would open up all his knowledge and share it with us, and in that regard, it far exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I had some expectations for the Omni Camp, and I had some goals, personal goals I wanted to achieve by coming here, but it's just blown me out of the water basically. I'm very pleased. I feel I've learned a lot more than I expected, and yeah, I'm just very pleased.
I think I got exactly what I was looking for out of the class. Very educational. I feel empowered right now to be able to go out and call the market.
My biggest regret was not doing this a long time ago. I think if I could have done it all over again, I would have done this 5 years ago. So I wouldn't delay. If you're curious about it at all, if you want to get to be a better technician, it'll be the best money you ever spent.
I think Omni is the perfect place to be. It will give you the tools to be able to achieve consistency.
I would definitely recommend Omni Camp. I think it's an important investment in yourself. I think markets nowadays are moving very fast, and it allows you to get some clarity through all of the noise in the markets.
Okay, traders, I brought this chart to your attention when none of this stuff existed on it. And I said, I believe we basically have a fully formed head and shoulders. Right at that circle, I gave you projections right up here. We're at 1180, 1200. And I said, we're going to 975 and then 832. Russell is going to 975, then 832. These projections were given to you on video live on 12/17/2015. Here's what has happened since. Well, bam, all the way down to here. So this is what it looked like in the last video that I did for you, the one prior to this. This is where it was. And this is what happened so far. It is on its way to that 832 mark. Look at the way it broke down from that flag just like it was supposed to. First the head and shoulders. Then we broke the 200 bar moving average. Now a bear flag, and the bear flag worked. Check, check, check. 832, here we come. Those were great projections. Let's look at the next chart. Traders, acceleration time coming our way. Is acceleration mode upon us? I didn't mention it on my whiteboard here because I wanted to show it to you on the chart first. I think we are at the point now where we're going to into acceleration mode, and the markets are going to start dropping a little more rapidly because now we are basically in this run. Because we did this, we did this, we did this, right? Boom, boom, boom. We are now in this run right about there. It should almost match what you're seeing here. Maybe not as grand. I do have projections, but we are going to likely come down. Now remember this chart. I showed this chart to you a long, long time ago to prepare you for what might happen, and I've been showing you this chart in almost every video since. Bernanke gets elected here. Just about 20 months later, we have a jackknife, back up, a small handle here, and then a big dump. Yelen gets elected. Just about 20 months to the day, the top comes in, we get a jackknife, this move, and then acceleration begins. I say, this acceleration time coming our way. And remember, when I first showed you this chart, when we were going up and everything looked rosy, I said, Auntie J's failure to spark a major rally will create a top. Since then, Omni has called that for us, magically staying on this market almost every single day. Only I get it wrong. The Omni's been getting it right day after day. Fantastic work. So if we are in acceleration mode, let's go look. Remember, traders, I came to you in plain English. I said, oh shit, this is getting ugly. And that video was done right here. And the markets cracked afterwards. Oh my God, they have been cracking ever since. Now, this may look small to you. I've shown you this chart in so many videos. We used to buy this average, if you remember, back in the day when the markets were bullish. We used to buy this average every single time. Then it cracked under the average. And it got back up, could not hold. We started seeing very, very weak signals. I did that video, and crack we have had. Now, this is where we were, and this is what's happened since I showed you this in my last video. Look at that, traders. We are heading now towards that 200 bar moving average, and we will very likely take it out. 1689, then 1620 are two of your projections that you will see as the market starts to break down. Let's move forward. Traders, now we go to the daily. Same chart, E-mini, S&P. Here's the night of my oh crap video, oh sugar honey iced tea video. And look, almost magically the daily just started to break. We went into this bear flag. I showed you this arrow. This is what happened since. And it is absolutely heading down. So here are your targets. Write them down. 1807 to 1799. 1768 to 1748. Then there's a 1689 target, and I am telling you, and this isn't even the long-term target, there is a real target of 1626. This is a mere level target. Look at the numbers. It's getting ugly out there. Now, this is relatively shorter term. I have longer term targets that are much lower than this, so stay tuned for the end of the video. But that's what I'm getting, traders. These projections are coming right off the charts. This has nothing to do with my deep thought or me going into some sort of a trance. I'm not going for yoga to come up with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? There are no star maps in front of me. I don't care if Venus is conjunct with Mars. This is coming from the charts, and these are projections, and you can trust the Omni projections. Now, will the market do this? It should, but we have stops in because tomorrow it could turn around and go straight up for the next 10 years. I don't know. But the targets that I usually give out tend to work well. Let's pay attention. Then there is this bad boy. Gold. Rock and roll gold. Want to see something amazing, traders? Talk about me being the Michael Jordan of technical analysis. I brought this to you when we were here. And I said, traders, this is either a cup and handle, or the blue is a bull flag. It's one or the other. Call it whatever you want. Very bullish. Nothing past here existed. Nothing. I brought you this chart. Called it a cup and handle. Called it bullish. Been calling the lows in gold ever since. And look at what's happened. Omni has been buying this almost every day. We didn't catch tonight's opening. It's all the way up here already, but we caught a lot of this move so far. Omni's been very generous to us in the gold. First, we had the cup and handle. Then we had the bull flag. Now we're above the 200 bar moving average. Doesn't that sound almost exactly opposite of the chart that I showed you in the Russell? The exact same three things happened without the cup and handle, but first the formation came, which was the head and shoulders. Then we had the breakout of the flag. Well, actually, then we had the 200 bar crash and now the flag. So, because the market's going down, you had them in separate order, but the same three things happened. This one's going up, the gold's going up, and look at the order. First the formation, then the flag breakout, now you're above the 200. That's strong, kids. I don't want to hear anything. That's a good-looking market. Then there's this. Crude oil, and imagine the analysis Omni has given us in crude. When everyone in the world thought we were going to $150 crude, Omni, on television no less, comes out and says, we're going from 103 down to 45, and believe it or not, Melissa Francis throws me off the show. She calls me a nut. Tells me to get off the show and doesn't want to speak to me anymore. And I said these are projections, not predictions. She still didn't want to hear from me. Well, you know what happened? We got down here and she called me back on TV and said, Oscar, how did you do that? And I said, not only did I do that, wait till you see what's next. I gave out, since then, the projection of 37. We hit. Then I gave out 27. We just hit that. 24 is your next target, and we are on our way to it now. And let me tell you something, traders. You want to talk about the Michael Jordan of calling markets. Did you know anybody when we were at 103 that thought this was coming? Omni is absolutely tremendous. Come join us at livewithoscar.com. So traders, you've seen the chart, you've got my technical argument for why I've got these projections on the board. You don't really have my technical argument, but you got some of the charts that helped me find my projections. Traders, I'm not that simple. You might imagine I've used 50 to 75 charts to come up with these numbers. But the ones I showed you are very important ones that lead the way, so I'm glad you've seen them. Now, I haven't done a video for you in, I don't know, 8 or 10 days. Do you know why? The last 2 videos I did were exactly the same. The indices are going down, gold's going up. Every night I did analysis, it came out the same way. What was I going to come out and just keep repeating the same video over and over? Finally, I thought, well, it's continuing. It's still gold up, indices down. Let me give them some projections, and here I am to help you out with those. Otherwise, I would have done the same video again that I did 10 days ago. So, we're in this mode. You might get some play, but Omni says for now, don't fall in love with the upside. The big rallies need to be sold in the indices. Keep that in mind. We are no longer buying big dips. We're selling big rallies until this comes off the whiteboard. So, traders, Omni Camp, you seen the commercial. You see what I'm capable of. You can't imagine how cool these next camps are going to be. They'll be the best camps we've ever had. Make sure you fill out your Omni Camp applications. Remember, that's a 4-day session here in Vegas. Really, it's more than 4. You're going to get in on Thursday and leave on a Monday. We're together for 5 days. Come on down and join me, and I'll make sure you leave hooked up with the Omni. All right, traders, that's about it. I'll see you all at livewithoscar.com. Remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with trying to keep your emotions at bay in this insanely volatile market is to say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, traders, and for you Omniacs who stuck around to see the projection, long term, you could go as low as 1487 in the emini S&P. I'm not saying it has to, but if we continue down to these targets, you're going to end up at that one too. We'll take it one day at a time. I'll see you at livewithoscar.com. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.